Good evening, Internet, or whatever time of day it may be for you. Today I'm making a batch of single pigment single pigment watercolor. And the one I'm using today is this one, which is produced by Color Rare, and their internet address is watercolorare.com. So COLORARE.ca. They also have another one that it is the same thing but .us. Anyway, this is a package that costs about $11 or $12, depending upon whether I purchased it as a group. I have 3 other pigments that I purchased from the same seller. 3 of the 4 pigments are from France and 1 is from Italy. And they're this one is Ardennes Natural Sienna, so I suspect that it is the equivalent of raw sienna. And we'll cover other ones as we get there, but I'll give you a preview of what they may be. We've got light yellow ochre from France, and we've got natural umber CPR from Italy, and we've got burnt umber from France. And on top of that, we have ultramarine blue from Gamblin. And Gamblin make watercolor, but also they sell their pigments, which I find interesting. It would seem like the one part of the business would compete with the other. Anyway, so I'm going to weigh out what I have, and I set that to tare weight of 0, and I'm going to dump in my pigment, which was a teaspoonful, and that was 4.8 grams, which is I think about the equivalent of a 1/5 of an ounce. I could be wrong there, but in any case, it is 4.8. So I want to use that number because I want to weigh out other ingredients so that I can repeat it. Let's put the powder in our mortar and pestle, and what we are going to do is measure out, let's measure out some liquid gum arabic. It is far cheaper to get the gum arabic that's in powdered form. I have 2 other gum arabic. One I have a pound of powdered gum arabic. Another one I have an ounce of gum arabic. The one that I purchased an ounce of cost $4. The pound cost $8. So go figure, that's about 8 times too much to pay for that quantity of powdered gum arabic. And we get almost 3 ounces of liquid gum arabic And that's convenient that it's already in the powdered form. One thing I was planning on doing is, is to, I'm going to use 5 milliliters of liquid gum arabic into 4.8 grams. So they're not exactly equivalent, but I just did 5 milliliters and 5 grams. One's a liquid measure and one's a weight measure, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so now we can set that aside. One thing I have been doing is adding vegetable glycerin, and I'm going to add that. Now I've done 5 milliliters of gum arabic, and I'm going to do a teaspoon. I suppose I don't think I can get the syringe baser inside, so I'm just going to pour it out into I'm going to do a teaspoon measure of glycerin. This is a vegetable glycerin, so vegans ought to be pleased. And we're putting it into dirt. And the gum arabic, of course, is a vegetable source. But for all you vegans out there, I'm going to use real ox gall from Winsor Newton, and I will use real ox gall, but I will, wow, that sucks up quick. Well, it's very fluid. 1 milliliter of ox gall. So I've got 5 milliliters of 5 milliliters of, well, I'll provide you with the ingredient list. So right now, though, I have gum arabic and ox gall and vegetable glycerin as liquids, and we have about 5 grams of, wow, that looks pretty good. I can hear some grittiness, but anymore if you don't expect it to have any kind of effervescence or any kind of a special look when it's wet, you wouldn't have to do this very much. And I wish I had like an electric duster. Hi, Christy. I'm doing my artwork. Well, I think I've just about got that. I'm going to put all of the ingredients off to the side for a moment, if not for the rest of the duration. And now we're going to test that. So I am going to remove my cover sheet, and I am going to test it on. So now we're going to test one of the pigments we just made. And let's see, I think I'm going to test it in a couple of different ways. But the first thing I think I will do is put it down dry on wet. And this, again, we're using the Ardennes Natural Sienna. Now, I probably going to have it on pretty thick. Well, that is certainly not flowing. It is so if I had more water in it, or the surface had a little more water. That's got a little bit too much there. Well, let's try it. So, that is Natural Sienna. So this is Ardennes. Ardennes is a region in northern France. It was also the site of battles during the First and the Second World War. The Ardennes Forest. So who knows? There may be some blood in this Ardennes Natural Sienna. But hopefully there will never be quite a war like that. Or like those wars. Although we can't really know. Anyway, I think that's what we want. Or at least we'll give it a go. I think maybe, now you can see as we give it a little time, the water that we dribbled on here, and you know, we could like dribble it on with a brush. If I knew how to do that. What, I guess I could use two hands. Anyway, let's see if it, I think we need to let that dry, and so let's go ahead and say that's a good formula, and let's store it. So here's a convenient means to store it. And so I'll just scoop it up. So you could guess, it looks like we're going to get about 8 milliliters, and this container will hold 10. So hold 10, so maybe I didn't get 8 milliliters. But I got a few more. Well, I think it's, the reason it isn't 10 is that we can't really give the pigment much in the way of volume, because it is absorbing the liquids and it is dissipating into the liquids. So I'm going to put the cap back on, and now we've made a tube of homemade paint, homemade watercolor paint, and I'm going to label it a Sienna. Sienna. And we'll know what we've got when we're looking at it. I think you can, you know, this is a formula that I had used, but it wasn't, now, it does look like the paint is a little granulated, and it does show a little effervescence, but I don't really think it's anything to write home about. But I think it'll do, and it will probably mix with our other paints pretty well. So I'm going to clean up here, and I will see you next time. I intend to produce both the testing of the natural pigments and the variations of mixing those natural pigments. And I will also discuss with you, I guess I can do that right now, but you can buy an assortment of pigments. They're natural, but they're not a single pigment, I don't believe, and they're not going to tell you what they are. This was, you can get this by Jacquard, and I think Jacquard is located in California, and you, in each one of these jars, you get 2/3 of an ounce, and so that would be 2/3 of 28. That'd be about 20 milliliters. Well, grams, maybe 20 grams. So, and I actually got, and that's cost about $33. So, that's really only about 8 ounces. And here I purchased 20 ounces for about $10 more. So it's and there's single pigments. They're not something someone made up. And so these are truly not named by the name of the pigment. Ultramarine is a pigment. a single source natural or sienna, ochre, umber, and burnt umber are all from single sources in different countries, and so I'm not sure where Jacquard did theirs, but if you want to go that route, you can probably buy some gum arabic and glycerin. Now, this glycerin costs about $12, and it wasn't the cheapest, but it was just a convenient size. And this is about $15. It really varies, but this is the gum arabic by Winsor Newton. So all you would really need is the glycerin and the gum arabic. So that's about $20, and that's about $30. So you're into it for $50, and you can probably make 15 or 20 of these different, and they're going to all be different. You may be able to get at least 16 with 2/3 of an ounce, which I think the 2/3 of an ounce, I don't know, ounces, milliliters, grams. I'll just give you what I know, and you can do your own conversion if wherever you live you get it in a different quantity. So that was a quick look at that, and I think I already mentioned about the price in the volume on gum arabic. If you buy a small powdered gum arabic, it's going to be cheaper than the $13 that you would pay for the Winsor Newton liquid gum arabic, but that's going to be convenient. And this, less convenient, cheaper than just to get into it. I don't know that in the long run it will be cheaper than buying the Winsor. I haven't reconstituted this into water to see how far it goes compared to the already constituted gum arabic that you get from Winsor Newton. Anyway, I'm all talked out, and I will talk to you later with another episode of either testing natural pigments or making paints from the watercolors produced. And again, the watercolors, I won't necessarily rely entirely on handmade watercolors, because I don't think you will either. French ultramarine, you simply can't buy that pigment. Anyway, or at least I can't find it. But we'll have another session. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. And so long from California.